Before you launch your e-commerce store, you're going to need to set up your store on the back end. These are the configurations and the settings that the general public is going to have access to on the front end. Now, I advise you that you take your time, you go through these, and to make sure that everything is set up correctly. You can always adjust this later on if you need to. So to do so, once you're logged into the back end of your Joomla website, you want to go over to Components, you click on EasyStore, and you click on the dashboard. It's going to bring you here. Now, what I want to do is to give you an overview of all the different features and the capabilities that your store has. So when you scroll down, you notice you have the products, categories, tags, orders, coupons, reviews, analytics, customers, and settings. If this is your first time setting up EasyStore, you're going to get this screen. And what that means is that it's just making sure that you set up everything. As you can see here, you have 0 of 6 tasks completed. So you want to go through each one of these to configure them. So let's start off first by configuring your store. So you want to click on Configure. When you click on Configure, you notice that you have this section here that's going to let you know when you've configured this section. Now, what I want to do is I want to change this from the dark mode to a lighter mode. So click on User, and I'm just going to toggle this to lighter mode. It makes it a lot easier for you to see. So the first section that you want to configure is the general details. This is your store contact details. So whether you have a physical store or you have an online store, you want to configure these. So for this address part, if you don't have a physical store that people need to come, then you don't have to worry about this section right here. So let's start off first with the contact details. You can put in your store name and put in your store email, and then you can put in your store phone number. And then of course here, if you have a physical location that you want people to come to, then you can put that on here as well. And then for the general options, you can click, are you selling to all countries or are you selling just to specific countries? Now, this can be handy if your store wants to focus primarily on a specific country or a specific region. So you can specify the countries. Let's say you want to sell just locally and you don't want to sell internationally. Well, you can specify that here. You can select the country. And once you select the country, you can choose the state. So I'm going to choose the United States. So when I click the US and click on Done, so now I've selected that country. Now this is good because there are times when you may have different rules for different regions or different countries. You may want to do that. But for the sake of this course, I'm just going to leave it as all countries. And again, also you notice you have countries except for, there's certain countries that maybe your country doesn't allow you to sell to, right? There's instances where I know in the US, there's certain goods that you can't sell to China or to Russia. So you would have to make an exception for those if that relates to you. Then this is where you can choose your currency. What currency are you using? Once you click on the drop down, it's going to give you options of all the different currencies that you can use on your store. And then you can choose your currency format, the long or the short. You can use the separator and you can use the decimal. Again, this is based on the currency that you choose to use. So I'm going to just put in now just a fake address. And then I can choose the city. And then just put in a zip code. And I can choose the country. So once you've made the changes to your store and you fill in the contact details, the address and all those things, you scroll to the bottom, okay? And you click this arrow here to minimize this, and you click on save. You want to save the details. I'm going to put in the phone number. You want to save the details to your store so you don't lose it. So now it's going to let you know save. If you click this, and then you go over to the next one, which is the tax. Now you can add the tax based on your country's tax laws. This is something that you would have to check, but I'm just going to put in add taxable country, and I'm going to put in the United States, which is where I am based. So the US, and it's going to ask me for states, and I can just select all states and then click on done. So now I have the US, and I'm going to click on to next. And I can designate the percentages for the tax for each individual state, right? I can click collect tax on shipping also. So if I want to use tax, then I can do that. I can click this as well. You know, I can just set up the same rate for the entire country. So if I didn't want to set up the tax for each individual state, then I can say, you know what, I'm just going to charge tax for all those in the US. This is what I'm going to charge. What I do recommend is that you include taxes in your price, okay? To keep things simple, you can sort that out later on when it's time for you to do your business taxes. But if you should, or if you want to do your taxes, then you can, of course, include on it. I just find that it's a lot easier if you include the taxes in your products. Then you can, you know, do the tax later on once it's time for you to file your taxes based on the country that you're doing business in. And then I'm going to click here, just save. And you can add multiple countries. And then next you want to go over to your products, right? So you go over to the products. And then for the product page, we don't have a product page yet, but for now, let's just choose the home. We can always change this later on. Now the standard, some countries use kilograms, pounds, ounces, or grams. Again, you can change this later, right? So I'm just going to use pounds. Others use the meter, or they use the millimeter, feet, yard. So I'm just going to use feet. And I'm going to put this down. And you can accept product reviews, star rating on your reviews. You can toggle this, you know, off or on. If you want people to leave a review on the products on your store, you can do that. So I'm going to click on save. So next we want to go over to the shipping. With the shipping, you can add shipping for different regions. Okay, so region 1. You can choose to select the countries that apply to this region and how you want to charge them. So let's say I'm going to click this here, and I'm going to choose the US. Scroll all the way to your country, wherever you're doing business in. And I can choose the states. I'm going to select all, click on done. I'm going to click on apply. So I want to apply shipping to all the US states. Now, if I wanted to add multiple regions, I'll just have to click on add. And then if I have a different shipping based on a different country, I can scroll through here and add the shipping for that particular country, but I don't have any now, so I'm going to just leave just the US. You configure this again based on the country that you are doing business in. If you're doing business in multiple countries, you know, all around the world, then you can configure the shipping for this as well. Next, you want to set up your shipping method. So there are 3 options that you have for your shipping method. You have the flat rate, meaning that you can charge one flat rate for everything in the store. You have the free shipping, or you have rate by weight. If you're selling items and you want to charge based on the weight of the product, all the products, then you can choose rate by weight. Now, the beautiful thing about this is that you can apply multiple shippings to the store. So if you want to go flat rate and you want to do free shipping, or you want to do, you know, rate by weight, you can do that as well. So for now, I'm just going to call this one flat rate. And then I can choose, you know, 3 business day. Again, this is optional, and then I can put in the rate, whatever the rate that is, just $6. And it asks you here, you can also offer free shipping when a customer buys over a certain amount. So if you want to offer shipping, let's say for a customer orders, $40 or whatever your currency is, when you check this here, once they reach this amount, they're going to get free shipping automatically on the store. So I'm going to leave that off for now. That's another setting we can add. So I'm going to click on apply. So now we have flat rate shipping at $6, right? I click this, I can either delete it or I can edit it. Let's say that you want to add another shipping option. Click to add another option. Now I'm going to have this one here, free shipping. Again, when someone reads a certain option with the flat rate here, you can also change it to free shipping. But for this one, I'm just going to leave it as 3 business days and 0, and I'm going to click on apply. Just 0. Once you've successfully selected your shipping method, just click on the save changes here so it can apply. So now you have your flat rate. You can add more regions. Let's say you want to add another region, but in this region you want to charge rate by weight. You can do the same thing, follow the same steps to charge by rate. So let me put this here, weight charge. So you want to charge by weight. You can select your country. I am going to select again the United States, and then I'm going to add all the states, select all, and then click on done, and then wait 4 business days, and I'm going to put it weight 1 to 5 pounds. I'm going to charge them $5, and if I wanted to add more, so from 5 pounds to 10 pounds, I'm going to charge them $10. And then once I'm done, I click apply, and then click on to save this. So now we have 2 shipping methods, one for the region 1, which is the US in this case, and then another one for the weight. Of course, you can add multiple. So when you're done, click on save changes. Now that's been changed. Next, you want to go to payment method. With the payment method, you want to set up your manual payments, or you can also set up your payment gateways. So let's go to add manual payment. You can choose cash on delivery, custom payment, check payment, or the bank payment. Again, this is pretty much based on how you want to receive payment. Another option you have here is to add payment gateway. With the payment gateway, you get to add any one of these that you use. You would have to log in to the back end of that to get that information. So for example, if you use PayPal, I'm going to click on add, and I'm also going to click to add, Stripe, add authorize.net, and I'm going to X that off. So from this point, you have to set these up individually. If you want to offer these as payment methods to your store, so you click on set, and then you have to put in the details of it here. So it's in production or is it in sandbox? You put in your PayPal email. Sandbox just meaning that this is not live yet. Okay, this is not live yet, but with this one is actually live when you put in production mode. That's simple. If you want to do Stripe, you click on setup, and with Stripe you'd have to log into your Stripe account. Make sure this is set to live. You get your Stripe live key, and then you get the secret here. You would have to, once you get it from your Stripe account, of course, that's something that's private and you should not share that with anyone. And then to press to create a webhook URL, once you click on this, it's going to give you all the details on Stripe's website. So we don't have anything right now, but I'm going to click to X. So again, this is something that you have to get on your end. So I'm going to X that off and then save changes. Next, you want to go to checkout. Do you want to allow guests to check out? If you click on this, then it's going to allow guests without having to log on or logging on to the site or having an account to log on. Now, again, this is personal preference. It's pretty much up to you what you want to do. If you want to allow guests, you can, but if not, it's okay. For this one, I'm just going to allow the guest to be able to check out. So next you want to go to the address line. Do you want this to be required? So as they're checking out, do you want the address line to be required, or do you want it to be optional? Their phone number. Do you want their phone number to be required, or do you want their phone number to be optional? And then apply tax and apply coupon code. So if you want to offer coupons to your store, then this is where you check that, and they can be able to put in the coupon code and they can get access to the store. They can get discounts. And for this show terms, you want to put in the terms and condition of your store. You want to put in the privacy policy. This is something that you would have to generate on your own. There are websites that helps you generate a free terms and conditions, a free privacy policy. It's important that you get this information. This is going to be different based on the type of business and based on the country. So you just don't want to generate anything general. You want to make sure. And I would also advise that if you can get an attorney to review these, because when you talk about e-commerce stores, okay, this is people's information, and it's very vital that you make sure that you have someone to review, or you pay these websites and put the information on there, for you to be able to get the right privacy and the right terms of conditions. Now that's vital, because when people have an issue, you need to do refunds, they have concerns, complaints, you can always revert them back to your privacy policy and your terms of conditions. It's going to save you a lot of time, a lot of headache, trust me. And then once you're done, we're just going to click on save, and I'm going to go next to the email notification. So this is who it's going to come from when you send the emails to your customers. This is the store name. This is the email that is going to come from. And you have the order confirmation, right? You want to send the order confirmation after a customer places an order. So when you click on this, it's going to give you a template. You can customize this template, but generally speaking, this is good enough for you to get started. So even if you don't change anything, what this does is this. If you notice, you have this variables. What that means is it's going to say dear customer, right? If you want to replace this dear customer with the customer's name, you can do so. If you want to replace it with any one of these here, right, you can copy this and then you can paste it on here. We'll take a look at the other email templates later on. So anytime there's someone's purchase on your store, they're going to get this automatic email with all the order information and all the details pertaining to the order. So I didn't make any changes yet, so I'm just going to click on cancel. You can also do a test email. It's going to send an email to this address. So you want to make sure, right? So I'm going to do send test. Whatever email that is connected to the site, that's where it's going to send a test to. So next, let's go back. So order confirmation for admin. So this is the emails that admins are going to receive. Dear admin is going to give the details of that particular person. Okay. So let's go back. Again, you want to kind of go through these, but for the most part, they are standard refund, which is what you're going to get from time to time. People want a refund back. So you want to make sure that the wording for this is how you want it to be. So you kind of go through the payment, successful payment, the error in the payment. You customize this based on your store, success, new accounts. So when someone creates a new account, this is what it's going to be. So I mentioned earlier with this tags, you can use this tag. So instead of saying dear customer name, it's going to replace this customer underscore name with the customer's actual name. Okay, remember that it's going to replace it with the customer's actual name. So if I were to copy this, and let's go back here, order confirmation. See, it says dear customer. So instead of saying dear customer, I'm going to put it dear customer's name. So it'll replace that with the customer's name, and I'm going to save that. So now we have this part done. Let's go over to languages. The beautiful thing about Joomla and EasyStore is that it allows you to use your native language. So if there are any languages here that you want to translate this to, you can do that. Now, I'm not going to translate this to any language. I'm going to keep it as English. But if you have any one of these, you can install it, and then you can go through the process to get everything set up. So once you're done configuring your store, you're going to get a green check mark to let you know the items that have been completed. Now, of course, we have your add product. We haven't added anything yet, but if you click add product, it's going to take you to this page for you to add the product details. So we're going to work on that later on, because that requires, you to put the images and kind of go through a few things.